So I'm a couple of games into Seventh Continent. And in pushing out this, I won't say so much a review because we're not looking into the mechanics of the game. And I don't want to give away any spoilers. But I want to try and answer that question. As a board gaming enthusiast, the big question for me is, what place will this game have in my collection? Is it something that I will regularly play either as a solo gamer or with the gaming group? Is it something that'll come out for special occasions? Or will it be one of those titles that sits on my shelf and for whatever reason is not getting the play and it taunts me and I feel bad? That's kind of the eternal question. So where does Seventh Continent rank, and how would it rank for you if you're considering this title, or if you own the title, do you kind of feel similar? I have the retail version, which I think they're calling now the classic version. I don't have any of the Kickstarter exclusives. I did not get involved in the Kickstarter, just missed out on that opportunity. So we're focusing exclusively on retail. And I have a couple of the extra curse packs to kind of push in and play. So the idea is very intriguing because it's part race game, it's part exploration game, it's part crafting game. That's the first appearance. But in playing it, you realize it's a survival game first, and that has to kind of be the core strategy. And the question is, do you like playing a resource survival game with a timer? And while these other elements are very, very important, they're not the primary focus of the game, win or lose. Narrative-wise, the idea is you are an explorer. You discovered the Seventh Continent. You've returned, this mythological continent. You've returned, and you're under some sort of curse. Something has, so the missions are called curses, something has pulled you back to the island. And you have to solve the riddle of the curse, which involves exploration, which involves crafting, which involves finding and resolving the curse. And you know the effects of the curse ahead of time, but you don't exactly know how it's going to resolve, plus the random factor of how you're going to do that. This is a card-based game. So you have tiles that represent parts of the island as you explore. They branch off and you lay out other tiles. There's events that you have to resolve. There's discovery. There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of cards. These are done by cards, as opposed to other games that might have tiles of exploration, but they're miniature based and there's other markers and components. I really like the fact that this is a card game. Those are the components. Retail has little standees to represent where your figure is, but this is entirely card driven for exploration, events, and everything. Visually, it works. You have the card that shows that part of the island. Everything, there's hidden messages in some of the cards. There's resources. What the cards look like give you clues. So, if there's a cave with steam coming out of it, that tells you something. Everything is deliberate. It's not abstract. Everything is deliberate on all of the cards to explore and how you interact. This works better than just miniatures or tiles simply because the diversity that you can have in the box, it's much easier to put out cards and print cards and have branching stories with cards than it is to have miniatures and big tiles. Think of a classic dungeon crawler. You're still going to have exploration, but physically it's limited by the scope and scale. So the fact that Seventh has all of these cards, it packs in a lot, and you get 3 curses in the base box. It packs a lot into it with exploration. So it's very, very intriguing. I like exploration games. Even when I know the story, the fact that it's different every time. I love dungeon crawlers where it's random dungeons. I love Diablo for that reason. I love the fact that replay value, yes, you're fighting the curse, and maybe you've seen the curse and you've worked through the curse and you know how to resolve it, what to look for. It took you 5 or 6 or 10 plays just to get through that. But now, even with that knowledge, the island changes every time. The encounters change every time. The opportunities change every time. The crafting changes every time. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool on its own. So you get to enjoy the story again. You know how it ends, but the path to getting there is going to be very, very different. Crafting. There are ways to craft. You get certain things. You can build a raft. You can build a shovel. You can build certain items. They increase success chances. They increase your abilities. It's there, but the crafting system is not, and this isn't a criticism, it's not Kingdom Death Monster. It's not, I'm looking at an online kind of comparison. It's not Diablo, where, you've got gems and you upgrade stuff and you have tiered sets. And if you bring these sets together, yes, there's synergy where if I have a shovel, but I also have iron, I can make something else. I can layer in items over items. I mean, there is crafting there, and it works, but it's not this massive, massive elaborate system. And I wouldn't want it to be, because you're an explorer on this island. I'm going to be fabricating very, very specific things for my quest. The idea of it being a survival game, and this is where it pulls in a little bit of a Euro resource management and figuring things out. You have a deck of cards that represent actions and abilities and success and failures. And the game engine itself, to simplify it, and it's a very elegant game engine, you want to take an action. Can you take the action? You need to draw a number of cards and have a number of successes. So the question is, you can always draw more cards to increase your success chance, because it's random based on how many stars, how many tokens that you draw on the cards. But it's kind of a push your luck. So if it says, hey, there's 2 cards to complete this action, you want to climb something, you need to draw 2 cards from your life, health, food, resource management deck. I could draw 2. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. Probably draw 3 just to be sure. If I really feel I need to do this, then let me draw 4 cards. There's no limit. So you're calculating the bare minimum that you can get through to accomplish a task. When you run out of these cards from your deck, at that point, now they get recycled in, but the curses become active. And if the curse activates on the next pull, you lose the game. And of course, there's ways to increase your deck, refresh your deck, ways to manipulate it. But it is very much like, hey, you can explore, you can do whatever you want. But this is a survival game where you need to make sure that you're not burning through your deck and you have ways to refresh, to continue your deck. That sometimes seems at odd, because being an exploration game, you want to go everywhere and you want to explore every opportunity and you want to look in every cave and you want to explore all of the unique features of the island, but you're going to quickly gas out really fast and die. So you really need to kind of manage and push that. It's an excellent little game. Well, I can't even say it's a little game, because it is so expansive and there's so many pieces to it with how it plays. It's very well done. It was exactly what I was looking for. The ability to lay out the cards and think about what I want to do and make tactical decisions. It's a very, very well-paced game. And again, only being, about 10 or so plays in at this point, the replay value is through the roof, because I got to make it through the quests, and I can already see, even when I've done that, the quests themselves, the paths change all the time optimally. So even when you've seen stuff again, even if you've just churned through all the cards and seen everything through dozens and dozens of plays, well, now there's different ways of different paths. And of course, that then builds into the characters themselves all play differently. So a lot of replayability, an amazing title. And I definitely think no matter what type of games that you like, we all have our board gaming personality. This is an evergreen game. This is something that you're really going to love and you're going to focus on. And in my opinion, is going to be a great addition title to your collection.